Hello, how are you? Today I brought you a recipe that is just wonderful for an afternoon snack. For those moments when you want a healthy treat, something to eat after dinner, or even to replace dinner on a weekend with something a little different but still low in carbs, healthy, and high in protein. You're going to love this recipe. It's very easy to make, and the flavor is amazing. It's excellent if you want to control your blood sugar, if you want to lose weight, if you want a healthier life, if you don't eat gluten. Stay until the end because you won't want to miss this. Before we start, I want to ask you if you have the habit of, on weekends or on Fridays, replacing your dinner with some kind of snack. So this would be a good option for you. When you do this, what do you substitute it for? Write it for me down here in the comments. I would love to see your comment. If you can, I'm already going to ask you to like the video. That's really important for me here on the channel. And if you already know someone who would benefit from this kind of recipe, share it. Let's get this recipe to more people who need it. And to get the ingredients, the quantities, the nutritional information, everything you need, just take a look down here in the description, okay? So the base of our recipe will be eggs to make it high in protein. Remember that eggs contain albumin, which is a protein of high biological value. But eggs are also a very nutritious food altogether, aren't they? They have vitamin D, B-complex vitamins, and choline, which is good for the brain and even helps eliminate fat from the liver. Choline is an essential nutrient and is present in eggs, making them a great addition to our diet. To the egg, I'm going to add olive oil here. Give it all a good mix, remembering that it's an ultra-healthy fat, omega-9, anti-inflammatory, and very interesting for us to consume on a daily basis. This milk that I'm going to add here is almond milk. If you want, you can substitute it with cow's milk, but I'm using almond milk because I want to control the amount of carbohydrates, as I mentioned earlier. And if you're concerned about the cost of almond milk, remember that I have a video teaching how to make other plant-based milks. Almond milk, peanut milk, homemade coconut milk. I'll leave it down below in the description for you. I'm going to season it with a bit of salt, just keeping it basic here. But if you want to add garlic powder, hydrated onion, curry, turmeric, or paprika, that works too. And to get the right consistency, I'm going to use coconut flour, which is a really wonderful flour. It doesn't taste like coconut, but it absorbs a lot of its weight in liquid, right? So it will create an almost instant batter. The batter comes together very quickly, so it's an excellent addition to our daily routine. So just mix this well, and you'll see how it absorbs. When you add it, at first it seems like it's going to be too runny, but no. Just by stirring here, you can already see. If you don't have coconut flour and want to substitute it, for example, with almond flour, ground peanuts, or even oats or oat flour, if you're not too concerned about the amount of carbohydrates, you can do that. But in that case, you'll need to add it gradually, little by little, right? Spoon by spoon, until you reach the consistency I'm going to show you. And this consistency doesn't happen instantly. In fact, let me grab a little bit of coconut flour that I have left over here, and I'll add it in. Coconut flour keeps absorbing as time goes by. So you'll see in a moment, when I get the baking tray and everything, how the batter changes. Hold on a second. I'm going to bake it in this pan, which, even though it's non-stick, has some holes at the bottom. So I put parchment paper here so the batter doesn't slip through the bottom. I'm going to put the batter in here and pre-bake it in the oven at 360 degrees and then add some toppings, which we can mix up and have fun with. So this batter is really nice. This recipe is really interesting because we can change things up in our daily routine, right? And not fall into monotony. So I'm going to spread out our batter here. Like I said, I'm going to put it in the oven, and in just a bit, I'll come back to show you how it turned out. Hold on a moment. It took 15 minutes to bake. The dough is really quick. Look how it turned out, fully baked. Wait for it to cool down so you can handle it. And now let's move on to our topping. I grabbed a bit of cheese here. I'm going to add it now. You can actually use any topping you want. And after the cheese, I'll add some other ingredients here. I'm going to make a vegetarian version. You can make it with whatever you like. In fact, tell me what you would put on this delicious dish. I'd love to see your comment. I grabbed some black olives and a bit of tomato, which I'm going to add here for decoration. I want to keep it more low carb, but I still want lots of flavor, and olives are perfect for that, aren't they? So I'm going to add the olives little by little here, and then I'll alternate with the tomato. If you like recipes like this, delicious where it doesn't even feel like you're on a diet or trying to be healthy, remember that I have a lot of playlists here on the channel where I've already organized the recipes for you by meal type. There are many low carb, low calorie, easy and quick options. I'll leave the links for you down below in the description, as well as my playlist with health tips, tips for losing weight, controlling blood sugar, reducing inflammation. Look, I'm going to add the tomatoes now, just to make it look nicer. This recipe is so simple, but it turns out really delicious. I'm adding the tomatoes here and I'll put it in the oven. If you want to add some oregano or rosemary on top, that's also delicious. So in a little while, I'll be back to show you how it turned out and to taste it. So I'll be right back in just a bit. Hang on. So I'm going to add a little rosemary, like I mentioned. I think it'll go really well here with our Mediterranean look. I'm going to put it in the oven now because this part is really quick. Everything is quick, right? But it's just to melt it here and I'll be right back so we can taste it. Hang on. Look, it was just 3 minutes. Just enough to melt the cheese and cook the tomatoes a little. I'm dying to try it. I'm going to cut it here and I'll be right back. Just wait a moment. It's really amazing. Look at the cheese, and I wanted to break it open so you could see it. Make this at home. You're going to love it. Look at this. Isn't it amazing? I grabbed a whole piece here to try. Remember to like the video. It really helps me out here on the channel, and share it with anyone you think will enjoy it. Let's spread this chain of kindness. That's what I want here with the channel. And now I want to taste this delicious recipe because it smells amazing. This combination of flavors is truly wonderful. Make it at home. You're going to love it, I'm sure. The olives with the tomatoes, the rosemary, the cheese, and the crust. I don't know if you can see it, even though it's thin. Look, it's soft, it's fluffy. Make it at home. See you next time. Bye.